Hello my dear students. Today I am going to discuss regarding the globalization. Okay. So globalization is a process in which we integrate the whole economy with the domestic economy through trade or investment, and that is also known as the capital movement. So how we can integrate the whole world from our own domestic economy? So there are two methods, that is the trade and capital movement. So according to the definition of book, we can say globalization means integrating the national economy with the world economy through removal of barriers, all international trades and capital movements. Now a question comes in our mind: why globalization took place? So before uh, globalization, we have already discussed 2 points. One is the liberalization and other is the privatization. So it is the boon of liberalization and privatizations, due to that globalization took place. Now, what policy measures undertaken under globalization? So first, that is the rise in equity limit participation of foreign investment. So as we know that all the large scale industries are listed in the share market, and here the term is used, equity. As we also know that the company basically takes 50% of equity with itself, and that's why it is considered as the owner of that firm. But after the globalization, that equity limit participation of foreign investment has increased. Now, even the foreign investors can take 51% of their own capital investment. So, in this way, it helped the foreign investors to invest their capital in our own country. Next is the devaluation of rupees. Previously, I told you devaluation means uh, the domestic currency value is uh, domestic currency value is decreased by the government, not by the open market. And if the devaluation of rupees takes place in any country, the export of that country continuously increases. So in our country, in the year 1991, nearly 20% rupee was devaluated. It helped to maintain the BOP, balance of payment. Devaluation of rupees also encourages export and discourage imports, because export is more cheaper than the imports. So next point is our convertibility of Indian rupees. So convertibility means uh, rupee can be converted either for an exchange. It may be yen, it may be dollar, it may be pound. So partial convertibility of rupees was allowed by the government, so that our importers can easily purchase goods and services from the rest of the world. It also refers to the purchase and sale of foreign currency at a price determined by the market value. And as you know, the market value is always determined through the demand and supply. So, the government allowed for import and export of goods and services, making the interest payment and so on. The convertibility of Indian rupee took place. Next, removal of controls on foreign trades. A new 5 years foreign trade policy was announced to establish the framework of trade with the rest of the world. So it removed all the restrictions on external trade. It also opened competition, or to increase the competition among the competitors, so that uh, restriction has been removed from the foreign trade. Next is the modification of tariffs. As you know, tariff means it is a kind of tax, and basically it is imposed by the government on export. So here the modification means changes or reforms. So in conformity with new economic policy, custom duties, tariff imposed on the uh, imports and exports, okay, which has gradually reduced. So if the tariff is reduced, it means it is reduces the cost of goods and services. As a result, it encourages the competition uh, with the rest of the world. It also promotes the international trade. Next is the modification in technology agreement. As we know that technology is the most important inputs for production. It helps to reduce the cost of production. So according to new economic policy, no permission is required for testing domestically developed technology which is being utilized by the foreign countries or abroad. So all the foreign collaborations took place due to higher technology, and the government made it very easy to implement the new technology. So in this way we can say uh, major policy measures undertaken under the globalizations. Now come to the next point, what is the positive impact of globalization? So here some measures had been taken by the government. Due to that, some points comes out from the same features. First is the greater access to global market. If globalization took place, it means you are free to sell your products not only in your own country but rest of the world. As a result, the boundary-less areas is opened for the markets. Next is the advanced technology. So I told you that there is no need for the to take the permission regarding the developed technology. Any country, any industry can set up the new technology and they can reduce their cost of production, they can increase the output, and it can be easily sold in the different competitive market. Next is the better future prospects for large scale industries. So large scale industries means all those industries where the investment is used, they can easily compete with the rest of the world, and they have started to utilize the new technology. As a result, their future prospects continuously increased. Now come to the next point, that is the negative impact of globalization. So as we know that everything always creates positive and negative. So here there are some negative impact which occurred due to globalization. So first point here, benefits bent in the favor of developed countries to expand their markets in other countries. So as we know that most of the developing countries are facing the problem of new technology, problem of finance, Due to that, their expansion didn't take place in respect of developed countries. Developed countries are capable to sell more product at lower price because they use basically modern technology. Second is the globalization compromises the welfare and identity of people belonging to poor countries. As we know that every private sectors or the industry, they invest their capital only to earn maximum profit. They do not care about the welfare of the economy, welfare of the country. Their main aim is to earn maximum profit. As a result, the condition of the poor people in the developing countries became miserable. Next is the globalization increases the economic disparities among nations and people. So as we know that there are two kinds of countries, one is known as the developed and other is the underdeveloped or developing countries. This division has been done on the basis of the per capita income. So all the developed countries are capable to produce huge amount of goods and services. They are also capable to sell in the different parts of the country because they have the better technology. As a result, a vast gap creates between the nations and the people. In case of people, I can take some example. Suppose those who are highly skilled people and got a job in the multinational companies, their salary will be high or they will earn more. As a result, a vast gap will may create in the society between rich and poor. So on that basis, it is told globalization increases the economic disparities among nations and people. Next is the impact of globalization witnessed only in few selected areas such as service sectors. So as we know that there are three kinds of there are three sectors. One is the primary, other is the secondary, and next one is the service sectors. It is noticed that most of the people are ready to invest their capital in service sector. Very few are interested to invest their capital in secondary sector because in case of secondary sectors, the profit margin starts after a long investment. But if we move towards the primary sectors such as agriculture, mining, no one is ready to invest their capital because here the uncertainty is very high. So on that basis, we can say the impact of positive impact of globalization has been shown or noticed only in or mainly in service sectors. Next is the loss of jobs in many traditional sectors. So in the developing and underdeveloped countries, people are people were using the traditional method for productions. So their cost of production was very high because it was based on labor intensive method. And when these developed countries have started to produce the same product through the capital intensive method, the cost of productions continuously declined. So as a result, the demand for the traditional goods continuously declined and a number of people became jobless. So these are the negative impact of globalization. So in this way, we can say globalization no doubt helped us to improve our conditions, to increase the per capita income. It also helped to improve our skill, also helped in the formation of employment, but some extent in the developing and underdeveloped countries, it has created the negative impact and the peoples became the condition of poor people became miserable. Okay, I think it will help you to understand the meaning of globalization, features of globalization, negative and positive impacts. Okay, thank you.